All right, here we go. Ready? Okay. You sure you're ready, Hassan?
Let me just text my mom real quick.
Are you recording?
Yeah, I think we should be recording while he's texting his mother.
Hey.
Let me know when you're ready.
And good.
Welcome to Yippee-Ki-Yay Mother Podcast Mobile Edition. I'm Ralph Quartucci.
I'm Hassan.
And I'm Al.
Here we are. Here's what we're going to do. Today is President's Day, so what we thought we would do is go to some childhood homes of some of the famous Virginia presidents. And we thought we'd take a visit of that. What do you think? I'm just kidding. We're going on a LaserDisc hunt.
You mean we're not going to go see Jefferson Davis's house? I know you're a big fan.
No, I'm not a big fan, and we just went on his highway. I think we've seen enough. So, Al, let everybody know where we're going.
We are going to Fat Cat Records in Ruther Glen, Virginia.
And why are we going there?
They have the largest selection of LaserDiscs on the East Coast.
Is that true?
So, according to their Facebook page, yes.
Wow. And why is today so special?
Because we're going to go buy some LaserDiscs, and they're 50% off.
There you go. You buried the lead on that one.
Is it because it's President's Day?
It is the President's Day sale.
Some people buy cars. Fans. Some people buy furniture.
I'm in the market for LaserDiscs and a new car.
We get up. Al's in from. Yeah, he is going for a new car. He looked 2 days for that. Now we're going to do a little LaserDisc hunt. It's always fun going into these bins and seeing what's available. Hassan, we're trying to convert you to become a LaserDisc aficionado.
It's tough because I just got into Blu-rays.
That's sad, but okay.
And I'm really liking the quality and futuristic technology they have in those devices.
It's not about the quality. We're not quibbling about quality. We understand that LaserDisc is a step above VHS and a step below DVD.
But it has all the features of DVD.
Well,
I was
generally
there for both the VHS stage and the DVD stage, and I totally missed that LaserDisc gap.
A lot of people did. What you may not know about LaserDisc, as Al just mentioned, is it's one of the first formats where they were able to add multi-channels. So you were able to have a director's track, or you were able to have, they literally had different endings that you could say, okay, jump to this chapter, random access, and play this alternate ending that we have here. So LaserDisc was... I don't know, Al.
So it's DVD features with VHS qualities.
It's a step above VHS.
Yeah, you
but
could
DVD copied the features of what LaserDisc was doing, right? So you could buy a LaserDisc, you get a director's track. You could buy LaserDisc and get the music-only track if you wanted to hear just the track of the the soundtrack or whatever. Yeah. The other nice thing about Al, do you have any idea how long LaserDisc was?
Well, I believe it was developed in the 70s, and it didn't really come into its own until the 90s, probably.
Was it 90s or late 80s?
Late 80s, early 90s.
I started collecting. Now, there was LaserDisc, there was Selectavision, which
Selectavision's a RCA, but Selectavision is
a plastic disc.
Right, it's like it's a vinyl. It's basically a vinyl record.
Inside a sleeve, inside like a...
cartridge.
Almost like a cartridge, like you would have those little... what are the little small computer disc cartridges? Like that. Floppy disk, but bigger. So you'd take this thing, you stick it in the machine, and you pull it out, and the LaserDisc the disc stays inside the machine.
And it uses a stylus to read the information.
So it's actually touching like a record.
Wow.
And then LaserDisc is a big, giant, like CD. So if you look at a LaserDisc, it's the size of a record album, 12 inches, I guess.
Yeah.
But it looks like a CD, silver and
it's
you can see that.
dual-sided.
They are dual-sided. And I collected those like any, so you go from VHS to LaserDisc, and then LaserDisc fades out, and DVDs come into fruition, and then now it's Blu-rays. But for some reason, for me, and I think Al can speak to this as well, LaserDisc has retained some of the, the feeling you have when you look at a LaserDisc. It's not so much the quality. You don't care that it isn't as good as a Blu-ray or a DVD. It's just tactile. It's like a record. And I didn't collect vinyl.
Yeah.
But collecting a LaserDisc, it's tactile. So you have this beautiful, big album-sized, cover with some art on there. Sometimes the art's, the art is as good as any art. Liner notes out the wazoo. Some of the special boxed editions come in giant boxes with all like maybe 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 laser discs in there. You know, if you don't have a player that flips automatically, you're getting up every 30 minutes to flip it over. That can be a bit of a hassle. I have been able to find a couple of LaserDisc players in thrift shops for about $15, which is good, and they all have worked so far. I haven't had any belt issues or drive issues. I mean, I don't use them as much as I probably should, but so anyway, we're on our way to Richmond to go to this place and see what we can pick up, and then on the way back, maybe we'll show off a couple of them and see what happens. But as we're going down there, we got about a 45-minute trip. Al, can you lay out some of your favorite laser discs or something you might be looking for today, or what is the purpose of this trip for you?
Well, I have collective-itis because I like to collect things. And
things or people? Not people, right?
No.
Okay, good.
I don't have a human zoo in my basement.
That's good.
I don't know. I like LaserDisc because I never had them. They were always like a rich person's toy kind of thing.
I guess in the beginning when it started, sure.
Yeah.
The players weren't cheap, the good ones.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So I always had VHS growing up and going to the video store and renting the VHS. And, and now that Ralph was so kind to donate one of his players to me, I
have another one if you want one. This time.
He does.
I got some extras if you want to, hook it up.
You really have extra?
I do. I mean,
players?
$15 at you don't find them that often, and when you do, it's like a gold mine. I found 2 in one shot. I couldn't believe it. So yeah, we could get you hooked. Now, Al, did you have LaserDisc before you joined the podcast, or?
I never had LaserDisc.
So you started when you started the podcast?
Basically.
So I hooked you on LaserDisc.
You did.
That's a riot. Just because when you came over, you looked at them, or what was it?
I like dead formats.
You do like dead formats?
Yeah, I like.
Too.
I like dead audio formats too. I would love to get a cylinder player, but I haven't gotten there
yet.
What's
that, like 1940? What is this?
Well, that'd be early 1900s.
Wow.
Edison cylinders.
1900s?
Yeah, it's the first format.
Wow.
That's what that rock thing that I put on the record, it sounds a little like it could come out of that thing. All right, so you didn't have any LaserDisc before you met me.
Nope.
You knew about them?
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew about them.
Well, you got hooked. You got hook, line, and sinker though, because you've beefed up your collection pretty well, haven't you?
I did. Yeah, I got a good deal on Craigslist up in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Where I got, I don't know. I think I got about 30 or 40 LaserDiscs out of that.
And a player too, right?
Yeah, I actually got 2 players. So I have 3 players in my house right now.
Wow. Yeah, I started.
What?
Yeah. That's what happens. It's a disease.
Why?
In the 90s, I had a huge LaserDisc collection. Okay, I was collecting. Yeah. Now, I've moved probably 17 times, 3 houses, 3 wives. You know the story. We don't have to go into that again. Maybe we'll do a little soft dissolve to some past video of my life.
Flashback.
But anyway, long story short, LaserDiscs ended up, who knows where they ended up. And I ended up, maybe I left them in one house that I don't know, because it's just they're very heavy, they're hard to move around. Well, my second ex-wife moved to New York, and it turns out she had probably 80% of my collection in a storage facility that I had to help her move.
Oh.
So I took them, because she never was watching. The only reason she had them is because I had them, and she would never watch them anyway. So that got me back into getting the juices flowing again for LaserDisc. So then I go to this, in Brunswick, Maryland, there was the MARC trains were doing like a train day. But in this little town was this, an antique store. And I go in the back of the antique store, and lo and behold, is a stack of about 25 RCA Select-Division discs. Now, if you look at those have some crazy art on the front of them, too.
Yeah.
They don't have all the features of a LaserDisc, but they look like a giant floppy disk with some cool art, some really 70s, like really in the time.
I would say
art.
those look worse than VHS, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, I think so. I mean, I guess.
I think not
not super VHS, but
most
regular.
of the players output mono, not stereo. I think
They
you had
do
to get
that,
a special
like
stereo.
Well, and to
version of
add
the
to the
player.
20 or 30 discs that I found, he also had a Select-Division player there. And I got the whole stack and the player for $50.
Wow.
Okay,
Good
so
deal.
not bad. I couldn't test the player there. I had no idea whether it worked or not. So I was going to buy this thing sight unseen. Took it home, and sure enough, lo and behold, turned it on, the thing whirred right up, and I could play the discs. Now, like you were saying, yeah, it's mono audio, but also it only had, this particular player only had an RF out that you just run to the antenna or channel 3 of your TV. So it had no SVHS. It had no, even composite,
You mean S-video, not SVHS.
No, SVHS. No SVHS output. You get confused about that. I don't know
What's
why.
an SVHS output?
SVHS is a type of VHS. It's a super VHS.
No, I know what that is, but I don't know what does that output
What did I
look
say,
like?
SVHS or
Yes.
S-video? I meant S-video. That's what I meant. I was quibbling with in the middle of my lovely story about how I... So anyway, long story short, I get back into
With a
it.
fact check on that.
And started collecting LaserDiscs again. And the good news now is people are kind of selling them fairly cheap. Every once in a while, you can go on eBay and get them, and they can be pricey on there, especially for out of circulation stuff.
Yeah, harder titles.
Well, they're
to
all
find.
out of circulation,
Yeah.
but
I think there's really a niche market for like horror and sci-fi and anime, so people tend to pay a lot for those, especially if they have cool covers.
yeah, it's funny.
The one thing that I got was, before I even got into LaserDisc, is I saw this. I saw an article about cool LaserDisc covers, and one of the covers that I loved was a Japanese version of The Thing
Oh, really?
by John Carpenter. So I found out I was going to go to this horror convention because a bunch of The Thing actors.
Wait a minute, horror,
not horrors.
It's
horror.
Okay, I just want to
Yeah,
keep
not a
this
horror
rated
convention.
PG-13. Horror, okay.
So a bunch of the actors from The Thing were going to be there, and I was going to get them to sign the cover of the LaserDisc. But unfortunately, USPS being the shit entity that it is, they totally destroyed the cover and my copy of The Thing. So
The cover was gone too. The disc
it was totally. I think they stabbed and shattered the entire disc and stabbed through the cover. So it was like
Oh my god.
totally unusable, which was very disappointing.
That happens. I see that a lot on eBay when people are commenting I have not had one of those when I got them shipped. I haven't had anything break yet.
Yeah.
I've been lucky that way.
I think it's just our local post office that sucks ass.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, it also depends on how it got packed. People are pretty, if they really want to protect it, they wrap it pretty good. So, okay, Hassan, I know you're not in a, but you mentioned VHS, right?
Yeah.
You grew up in Egypt.
Yeah.
So, is that what you were watching in Egypt on VHS? Where were you getting your VHSs?
Honestly, I don't remember if we had a VHS in Egypt. No, we did, because we used to rent a lot of Jackie Chan movies.
Right. On what? On VHS?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we had a lot of.
So you moved here to the United States when you were how old?
I was 6.
Okay, so that's early.
I just don't.
I thought you were older. Oh, okay. So you went. So were you watching VHS when you came home? I'm just trying to figure out what your favorite movies might have been, or what like VHS stands out in your mind that.
I don't actually remember like any of my favorite movies when I was younger. I just remember I loved renting. We used to go to the corner store and rent. Me and my cousin would rent a movie every weekend.
Do you remember if all those titles were dubbed, or did they have Arabic subtitles?
I don't know.
But he was 6 when he came over there, so he wouldn't.
I was younger than that.
Yeah.
Over there, so. But I used to record all my shows on VHS when we got here. Like I grew up just like recording all my shows and like playing them back whenever. So and I remember when we first got the VHS, and I was able to like watch all these movies that I could never like find anywhere. But I totally missed the LaserDiscs.
Well, like Al was saying, it really. I mean, believe me, I was not a rich man in the '90s, but it was a niche.
Yeah.
It was niche because the players were very expensive. When I say expensive, let's say $200, but you could get a VHS player for what? $80.
And that was $290s.
$290, right? So.
And then when DVDs came out, That was like the thing. It was like
right.
I wanted a DVD player so bad because there were so many DVDs coming out, and I felt left out for like the longest time.
What was your first DVD, Hassan? Do you remember?
Like the player?
No, I mean
the movie.
What was your first movie that you bought?
put in and went, oh my God,
yeah.
look at that.
I do.
Sounds like a story behind this one.
Pokemon, the first movie.
Wow.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I saw it at Toys R Us, and that was...
You saw the DVD?
Yeah.
Oh, they used to sell DVDs at Toys R Us, didn't they?
Actually, when we were at your house and you were giving us the DVDs the other day, that was one of the movies that I picked.
Really?
Yeah, I can't remember if I dropped it later because I was like, I'm gonna walk out of here with a Pokemon movie, but I was gonna take it back. Just because it was my very first movie ever.
I don't remember. I remember the jump from like cassettes to CDs. That was a huge deal when you could put a CD in. And I remember the music they would put out really to play to show what the CD was. A lot of, big band music, right? Glenn Miller, all this stuff that you've been listening to for years on scratchy records and crappy cassettes. Suddenly you got a CD. I don't remember. I think I remember thinking when DVDs came out, oh my God, there goes my LaserDisc is dead.
Yeah.
What's the purpose of having? Yeah, because you knew that it was going to die. It had to. But you just couldn't let go of. It's like vinyl collections. People with their vinyl. It's the tactile feeling of holding that thing in your hand that keeps it alive. In my why I get them is I like the tactile. And if you look in the podcast on our YouTube, I frame those things. I mean, a lot of people do. It's not something I created. But my favorite movies, I pull the discs out and I frame them into those album frames that you can get, and I got a bunch of them on my wall.
Yeah.
And you can't do that with DVDs or Blu-rays. And liner notes is the other thing that when you open up that LaserDisc and you can read, what's on the LaserDisc or somebody there's especially if you get a special collector's edition, they have books in there dedicated to what the movie was about. I mean, that you just can't beat that.
Can you imagine if I tried to frame a DVD cover?
No, I mean, you can display them somehow. I'm sure there's a way to display those, but they just don't have the punch that a good LaserDisc art has.
I remember when I started meeting people that were collecting vinyls, and I was so jealous that they kind of had this weird connection with it.
Total connection.
And it was because they loved music so much, and this album came out whenever, and they kind of grew up with it, and I kind of feel like I would have had that connection with movies had I known about LaserDiscs back then.
Well, I have that feel. We talked about it on one of our podcasts where it's the same experience when you see a movie that really meant something to you. Not only do you remember the movie, you remember the season you saw the movie in.
Yeah.
You remember who you were sitting next to, especially if it's a girlfriend or, whatever it is, the group of guys you were with. When I saw Jaws, I remember the row of people we were with seeing Jaws and Alien. I can remember all these things. But the other thing I remember specifically is the movie theater I saw it in, right? So that's always in my brain.
Yeah.
LaserDisc kind of, for me, brings that back. It's that feeling of when you pull it out of there and you go, you're looking at a movie that maybe you haven't seen in a long time. It just brings that all back again. It's a great, and I used to be part of that Columbia record company.
House, yeah.
Well, Columbia House had a LaserDisc.
Yeah, what the fuck is with the
collection
cops this
Well,
weekend?
because it's the
President's
people
Day.
driving everywhere.
We'll cut that out.
Yeah. We like the police, by the way. We don't have a problem.
No, you don't.
Really?
Fuck 5-0.
Oh boy.
Blue Lives Matter.
Fuck off, Chris.
So yeah, I mean, so it is. It's a visceral feeling I get when you have that collection and you look at stuff, and Columbia House was great because you get 10 or 15, I forget what it was, in one shot. Oh, that was like Christmas every 3 months or something. It was great.
Well, what was great about that is I would do that for CDs. I get my 10 or 11 for $1 or whatever, and then I would never order again.
Right. I mean, they knew. You don't think they knew that?
Oh, absolutely.
How did they make money doing that,
I have
though?
no idea.
Yeah, how did that work?
No idea.
Do they just assume that 95% of the people are going to keep ordering stuff? Were there late fees? I
guess.
forget how that worked, that if you didn't...
Well, the thing is, I think you
Or was
technically
it shipping
agreed
and
to a
handling you were
contract,
playing?
but
Yeah.
since I was underage, you can't really make a contract with the kid.
I forget, was there shipping and handling with that? They had to have been making
Yeah.
their money somehow.
I think they were overcharging for the CDs when you actually went to buy them, so
Yeah.
that,
Now, would they press CDs specifically for Columbia House, or were those like
I think
bin outs or whatever you call it when you go and They're like,
I want to say
they're
it was all like
regulars.
BMG titles, but I can't.
But for the LaserDisc, I mean, it was pretty. I mean, you could beef up your collection pretty
Yeah,
quick.
I actually remember getting K9 with Jim Belushi from Columbia House on VHS.
On VHS.
Yeah, because I got RoboCop 1 and 2 on VHS from them, if I remember correctly.
Now, do you have the same? What do you call it? Do you have the same feeling about VHS that you do for LaserDisc? Well, you're new to the LaserDisc though,
Yeah.
so that's hard for me to.
I think because I don't have a VHS player, I think LaserDisc does give me the same feeling because it's like recently I've just been sitting down and watching old movies that I liked when I was growing up, and it kind of like brings back that feeling of just renting a movie and putting it on and.
Yeah, because this days of streaming, you can pretty much get any movie you want. I mean, it has taken away the joy of pulling that thing out and, like Hassan was saying, I have a box full of DVDs I let you guys go through. I don't need them anymore. It's kind of, I feel gluttonous with all the DVDs I have. There's no reason to have that many because you can't watch that many. Plus it's streaming. But there is a subset in my group of DVDs that I will never give away.
Too. Yeah.
Because they just, whatever the meaning behind, whether it was the Red Sox 2004 or even a show that I had worked on that I got DVDs for, because now I'm collecting or I'm purchasing Blu-ray. I'm much more picky with my Blu-ray now than I ever was with DVD because I don't need to, because like I said, you can stream all the time. I don't need to get as many Blu-rays. I just don't. I don't care that much. And frankly, if it's a movie I really, really want, I don't care about the quality so much. I'm not watching it on a high-res TV or 4K or whatever. I'll download it digitally, and I'll watch it on my computer or watch it on my, tablet or whatever. If it's a movie that I really, really like, you guys know I love Zodiac, there are certain movies I have in my collection that I watch all the time.
Yeah.
In my digital collection, not in my Blu-ray or even LaserDisc for that matter. But there is something really nice about opening up that LaserDisc, putting it in the thing, and just I feel like I'm back to that feeling I had in the 90s when I was putting those things in.
You know what I really miss? I miss video stores because I feel like there was this one particular video store that I went to when I was a freshman and sophomore in college the first time, called North Campus Video in Columbus, and it was they had anything you could think of, and it was great just going in there and looking at movies and maybe picking one off the shelf. And it's awesome when you pick one and it's like something you don't know about and the movie turns out to be awesome and you feel like you found like this diamond in the rough kind of thing.
Yeah, it's different than, because you can do that on Netflix and all these, right? You can go through, and it's that whole, what do you call it, option paralysis, right? There's a whole subset, memes of people who you're just searching on Netflix, and you never land on anything. You never just go and say, this is the one I'm going to watch. And 9 times out of 10, if you do that, it ends up being a piece of crap anyway.
What?
Yeah.
I've had good choice.
I mean, once in a while, you hit them.
Yeah.
But it's few and far between, especially with Netflix laying out all these movies that they're just pouring.
Yeah.
Like I watched one last night called The Ritual. Have you seen that with the 4 guys or 5 guys that they go to Sweden and go camping and they end up at some cult that's got some
I have
god.
to see that.
Oh my god. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just I just tried it. And Bright. Have you watched Bright?
No.
The Will
there's
Smith.
traffic
I keep
coming up.
hearing
obviously.
about
I can
it.
see that.
I keep hearing about it.
Yeah. You know what? It got trashed.
They're making it Bright too.
I know. It got trashed by critics, but you know what? It wasn't bad. And Netflix, all Netflix cares about is your is your subscription.
It got trashed by critics.
It did.
But it was.
No, it did. It got.
It's critically acclaimed as a pretty bad movie, but it's not.
Have you seen it?
It's not.
Have you seen it?
No.
Okay, watch it and then tell me what you think.
Okay.
All right, because I didn't think it was that bad. Again, you guys know this. I'm very surfacey with movies. I don't really get into subtext, so maybe I missed something, but I liked it. It's like The Counselor. Same
Kara
thing.
said the same thing, that it was fine.
Yeah, I liked it. But again, Netflix doesn't care. All they care about is that I keep using Netflix. And, there's certain things they know that I'm going to watch. That's why I get those, you get the, hey, check this thing out, check that out. But again, what that's done is the idea of having a collection that means something to you is kind of, you feel a gluttonous, like I said. Why would I collect these if I can watch it all the time? But...
Well, not everything's available. I mean, there
is that. You can't.
There's a massive amount available.
One of the
not
titles
everything.
I have you can't find anywhere called the Sorority Girls at the Bolodrome. Have you seen that movie?
No.
It's awesome. I should make you guys watch that.
What?
I'll have to rip a copy or whatever. I just record it or whatever you do.
What's it about?
Let me see. I got it on my phone. Since we have traffic, I guess we can.
We can watch
so-
it.
I guess we're not
So we
watching, but I guess I can
can-
describe it. Let me see if I can find the title. We got a little traffic, right?
We
You
got
guys are
traffic.
good.
We could text and drive.
Yeah, I'm not texting. Okay.
It's the same thing.
No, and I'm not paying attention. to what
Using
I'm
your
doing.
phone and driving is.
Okay, here. Then never mind. I'll do it.
I can pull
I'll
it
let
up.
you read it. Let
pull
me
it up.
find it first. Look, we got plenty of.
What?
What is it? M-O. Here it is. My movie database collection thing. All right, let's see. It's called something Bolodrome. Let's see if I can search. B-O. Keep an eye out for me, will you? There it is. What's that say? Read the description.
When
Read the title first.
sorority sorority babes in the slime ball bolorama. Sorority babes in the slime ball bolorama.
I need to see this, Ralph.
I know you would. I figured you would. Read the
Sorority
description. Can you read?
babes.
Are you having trouble reading or something?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
When 3 college guys get caught spying on a sorority ritual, they're forced to accompany the pledges on their next assignment. Stealing a trophy from the bowling alley, but the token they pinch has a devilish imp who makes their lives a living hell.
Oh my God.
It's got 3 things we like. It's got a bowling alley,
Yeah.
sorority girls, and an impish elf. Right?
A devilish imp.
A devilish
Devilish
imp?
imp.
Oh, okay.
Devilish imp.
Devilish imp.
Impish elf.
Yeah. All right, so there you go. It's a trifecta. Chris, you going to want to rent this or borrow it from the old library?
What's a devilish imp?
It's probably a little creature,
It's a little demon.
little demon, little short guy.
So the token they stole.
It's a trophy, a token or
Yeah.
a trophy.
Token's a trophy.
Yeah.
Oh, the trophy.
So yeah.
Does the trophy come to life?
No, they're stealing the trophy. Probably the devilish imp didn't like the fact that they were stealing the trophy. You're getting off on the point here. You're getting lost. The fact is, I own
Devilish
that. I
imp
own
threw
that.
me off
That's one that didn't
completely.
get thrown away. Thank God.
Is it on LaserDisc?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, these are LaserDiscs I'm talking about. Yeah.
We're gonna have to do this one movie too. Yeah.
No, you guys are doing The Counselor. I
God,
decided. I'm
why?
going to find out why everybody
Why?
hates that movie. You're going to give me a reason why, because I can't figure it out. I think it's awesome. Ridley Scott, I think your movie's awesome.
It's terrible, Ridley Scott. You should be ashamed.
But, a lot of the a lot of the movie directors really embraced LaserDisc. I think your boy, Natural Born Killers,
Yeah.
Oliver Stone,
The
I think
Natural
he's all
Born
over
Killers
that
Collector's
LaserDisc.
Edition is
Yeah.
awesome.
These guys really embraced it. And some of them, like I said, really got into the fact that you could randomly access. You would literally be able to program your LaserDisc player to go, okay, play chapter 1, then 3, then 7, then 5, then 2. Right?
What?
Yeah.
Why?
So you could, because they put different scenes. They put deleted scenes or they put alternate scenes in there. And you could play it so that it would play in the order that you want to watch it.
What?
Yes.
And you can't do that on DVDs.
You probably could.
Maybe
probably
with a
could.
certain player. I've never
Yeah.
seen it, though.
But, and you got to remember, VHS comes out, and the cool thing about VHS, and Al mentioned this, was you could record stuff. So that was that's when you
Yeah.
first started being able to shift time, right? Oh my God, I'm going to miss Saturday Night Live. No, I'll just tape it. LaserDisc, unfortunately,
You just had to have the TV playing at the same time.
well, they had those machines. Remember VCR Plus and all those machines that would turn your TV on and then program your VCR and then...
Well, you could select the channel you wanted to record, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
VCR Plus was awesome because you would program both the TV and the cable box, basically.
Yeah.
That's when to flip to whatever channel you want, turn the VCR on, and then record it and then shut it off automatically. And then, of course, TiVo changed everything.
TiVo changed the future,
Yeah,
man.
it changed everything.
All hail TiVo.
But VHS had been doing that long before TiVo came along. But LaserDisc, it was too cost prohibitive for them to be able. There were machines that record on LaserDisc, but as a home operation, you couldn't do it.
I remember TiVo came out and I was just like, great. Just one more thing I'm not going to be able to afford.
What
It was really tough. It was
It's really tough.
no TiVo.
no DVD.
So you couldn't rewind
no
the
Blu-ray.
nipple gate. No, you have a Blu-ray now.
Yeah.
Yeah. No DVD?
Yeah.
Is it because
That
your
took a
parents
while.
didn't watch movies or what?
It was weird.
Okay.
But
Is this confessional cab or whatever that is? Confessions in a cab?
Taxi cab
Taxi cab
confessions.
confession. Why was it weird?
because I remember like we got a DVD player, and then it was I don't know, it was the most amazing thing ever.
Right.
And my dad got caught watching porn on it. My mom threw it out the window.
She threw the DVD player, not your dad.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
And then we weren't allowed to have a DVD player for the longest time.
Well, that explains a
It
lot.
wasn't allowed.
That explains a lot.
It was like,
So when you brought the Blu-ray in, did you get the hairy eyeball from your mother?
I didn't care. I was like, no, I deserve
I'm
this.
24 years old, damn it.
I've put in my time.
That was my father, not me.
I've paid for my father's crime.
She says, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, my friend. Oh, wow.
my
Yeah, I
God.
guess that would hamper the DVD viewing process.
Yeah, I was so
Thanks,
mad at my
Dad.
dad. I was so mad. I was like the one good thing we could have
Well, hey,
ruined it for me.
I'm definitely going to give you the LaserDisc player, and I'm going to give you the stack of, we're going to find them here. Playboy came out with tons of LaserDiscs.
Oh yeah, they
my
do have those there.
No
I bet
way.
they do. Playmate of the month and all
Oh,
this.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm looking for 1976, which was a very hairy month. I'm going to say a very hairy year for Playboy.
Big fan.
Fan. So maybe that's. Hey mom, look, Ralph gave me a LaserDisc player, and you walk in with Playboy. All of a sudden, there's a LaserDisc going out the window.
I just want to bring up the fact that kids these days have it really easy when it comes to pornography.
Oh come on! It's not
Because
even-
like when I was growing up, you'd have scrambled porn channels, and you'd hope that for 1 second
you get us.
it would align
yeah.
so you could see what was going on.
Dude, I had all I had was Sears catalogs, and waiting for the swimsuit edition of Sears catalog, and of course the underwear part of it was always good, and that would come right into the
Sears?
house. That would come right into your home.
Yeah, you say Sears, and all I think of is like washers and
Oh, I
dryers.
know. I totally no. Believe me, it's affected me. You don't think it's affected me? Walk into Sears, it's always a weird little.
I had to deal with dial-up. My
Oh.
mom would I would get back from school, use the computer. My mom would call back later, and she's like, "What happened? Like, why couldn't I call you?" And I'm like, I don't know. I was doing homework or something.
There was 15 minutes I couldn't call you. What were you doing?
Yeah, she's so
That was still easy.
It's on the internet, Mom.
That was still easier than just trying to look at the scrambled porn.
I
And
remember scrambling.
it was still like hard finding it. Like I remember like half the fun of like getting porn is kind of like the search for it. It was like figuring out like I don't know.
It's the what do you call it? It's the
hunt.
It's the hunt of the.
Did you
Reminds me of
ever
the
have
hunt.
the thing where, so like, one of the things in my neighborhood was like the older kids would hide magazines in the woods.
Yeah, I mean,
Did that happen?
tree houses,
Yeah,
whatever.
okay.
Yeah, I honestly, I didn't hang when I was growing up. I don't remember like Playboy like that kind of idea where we'd hide them out in the woods. I
Yeah.
just don't. We weren't into that. It was funny. Like I'm not one of these guys that went into my dad's drawer and found him in there. I just don't think he had them. And unlike your dad.
I mean, I
DVD. Wow.
have no idea where he would have kept it.
Although
I
he's
have no
my
idea.
age, so I understand. He's my age, right? How old's your dad? By the way, you called out your dad on national TV.
Yeah, you did.
National TV.
Oh, whatever. Okay, local.
YouTube is worldwide, baby.
In our car. In the car.
To
You
the
called out
three
your
people
dad in the
that are
car.
going to watch this.
Your parents don't watch the show? Thank God.
No.
Oof. The stuff they'd learn.
It's very
The stuff
hard.
they would learn.
It's been very
Hey,
hard
we
to explain
almost
to my
there.
mom what a podcast
What exit am I
is.
trying to get off?
We got
on?
8 miles.
Okay. And what? Just give me the exit number.
All right, just hang on. Technology is hard.
Al right now is trying to find me. So,
It's been very
Yeah,
hard
so I don't remember-
explaining to them how podcasts work. So.
really, do they understand radio?
yeah.
Well, there you go.
It's
I mean,
110.
Okay. It's radio.
yeah.
Okay. You just don't want them to listen to it. I understand. I don't blame you, especially when you're calling out your dad like that. That can't be good. But yeah, as a kid, it was a Sears catalog, of course, the Sports Illustrated
Yeah.
swimsuit. Like right now, I could care less about that. But boy, that was the years of Cheryl Teagues and those, just insane. And that would come straight into your home. There was another catalog that would always come in. Not Sears. I forget. There was one that would come in. Oh, Victoria's Secret. Especially if you had a wife or something. That thing was always coming in. And Jesus Christ. I mean, you know why the Me Too movement is because we are sick and men. And it's just ridiculous the amount of what they're doing to just pummel you with all these images. They're still doing it. The Me Too movement, I don't know why we're getting off on a tangent, but I think your dad watching porn kind of got me started on this. But
It's good.
you look at the Me Too movement, and it's very important. It's empowering women. And then that golfer goes on the Sports Illustrated, and she poses naked, right? And it's supposed to be, you're empowering women to be naked. They should be comfortable being naked, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it's such confusing messages. Which brings me back to LaserDisc. Because LaserDisc was early porn that you could freeze without getting jitter. Okay?
Oh.
And this goes to how sick people are. Okay, so LaserDiscs, depending on how long it's recorded on one side, there's CLV versus CAV, right? CLV, you could fit an hour on a disc, and you couldn't freeze frame cleanly. CAV comes out, and it's 30 minutes on a disc, and you're allowed to once you hit the freeze, you can jog frame by frame and see. People were so sick, they would go with the LaserDisc and go to like The Little Mermaid or Roger Rabbit, and they would look for places where the animators put little sexual stuff.
Yeah, dirty jokes, yeah.
Dirty jokes. Like in one of them, somebody jumps over a log, and if you freeze it, you can actually see whatever the female character's hoo-hoo was. I think Jessica Rabbit, they did some, and The Little Mermaid
Was
girl.
that when she was flying out of the car?
See,
I think-
that's what I'm talking about. Like I said, see, that's frame number 162537 on side 3. You can actually see The Little Mermaid's hoo-hoo. Right?
What?
Yeah, and it was LaserDisc that allowed you to go boom, boom, boom. Right? Obviously, DVD and Blu-ray that's normal, but on LaserDisc was the first time that you could do that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Right? It's revolutionary. So imagine getting like the Playboy, Playmate of the Month stuff. Jesus Christ. Can you imagine being a kid with that?
Shit.
I mean, now, like Al's saying, it's just, kids can stream it on their phone now. It
It's
doesn't even
everywhere.
matter. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Kids
But
these days
LaserDisc,
don't have to work for anything.
that's right. Damn kids. Everything's fed right to them. Adam Carolla
They
tells
don't
this
get
great
the hunt,
story.
They don't.
Adam
they
Carolla talks about ripping a page out of some magazine, right, of a woman, and he'd have it in his wallet. For years, he would pull this thing out to look at it, because that's all you had. You couldn't get it into the house. It wasn't streaming in. So we're sick. It's sick. So that brings us back to LaserDisc. So, Al, we're about, 10 minutes from this store?
6 minutes.
How's the anticipation? Is it?
It's building.
You feel it building?
Yeah. I'm excited to see what you think about it, because there are so many in there. Like, I haven't
can't wait.
seen this many.
Listen, I see a little, like in that store I went in Silver Spring, there was just a little tiny section. It's the thrill. It's like people going for albums. It's the thrill of thumbing through. Like, I want to see it as I'm thumbing through. It's kind of like when you search for LaserDiscs, and you just scroll down. Every once in a while, you hit one that you just go, "Wow, I want to get that."
Yeah.
So, Hassan, are we going to get you hooked? Should we get you a couple LaserDiscs and let you have the
I
player?
don't know. I think I'm kind of hooked already.
There you go.
We sold them, Ralph.
What do you think, Miss Playmate 1982?
It's just, you know what? I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, when am I gonna get a chance to actually use this LaserDisc player?
Here's the problem. One other problem: they're loud. Okay, so as soon as you turn it on, your mother's gonna
It's
hear
like
it.
a jet engine.
Right? It goes. The thing has to turn. The planter's gonna turn. So Hassan, what are you watching in there?
Jesus Christ!
It's all right. There'll be no silent. I'm on my phone.
Well, it's
no.
like, I mean, I start work at 4 now.
Especially if the door opens. Yeah,
I start work at 4 now,
right.
but the thing is, I wake up and my dad's there now. Like, he doesn't have to work really early, so he doesn't. And then he leaves when my sister gets home at 2. So, I mean,
So what are you saying?
Go
You
to
have,
work,
you have no quality time by yourself? Is that what you're getting
I
at?
don't
He's
have
indicating.
any time that I could watch television at home without anyone else at home.
Well, listen, you're at work very late.
Let me bring my LaserDisc player with me.
I'm sure Mitchell wouldn't mind if you're watching late, wherever work is. I don't know. Do you work with a guy named Mitchell? I have no idea. So I don't know what I'm talking about. So yeah, maybe we'll get you a couple LaserDiscs, get your collection started.
Yeah,
Frame a couple, put them in your room.
Because I want to be.
What's
a
your
vinyl.
favorite movie? If there was a movie you wanted, non-pornographic, what movie would be the first LaserDisc you would want to get if you could find it?
Damn, non-pornographic.
And then you can't be Pokemon because you're too old for that. But if that's what you want, that's fine.
Well, I was like, I think I'd have to see what they have because, I mean, my favorite movie is like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, but I don't think
I think that's too late.
it might be too late.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be able
I
to
think-
find it on that.
Birdman, definitely not on LaserDisc.
Yeah.
I think they stopped around 2000, maybe.
Really?
Yeah, because I was looking for Fight Club, because that's one of my favorite films.
Fight Club.
But they only released that in Japan, and it's going for like $300.
Seriously?
What
So-
the fuck?
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the thing. It's it's collectors, crazy
Yeah.
collectors.
We went this exit.
I'm sure
Ladysmith?
Tarantino's got it.
What?
That's what he said.
Ladysmith?
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
You go here all the time?
No, I pass right by here all the time, and I'm always wondering, like, who's going to Ladysmith?
Here we go.
What
LaserDisc
band?
capital of Virginia.
What band was like formed over there that like named themselves Ladysmith and named the whole town after it?
Al and I saw this Facebook post of a woman who found a, I don't know, closeout or something in some LaserDisc store, and she had a picture of her driveway with a U-Haul, one of those U-Haul
Carts,
outside
yeah.
carts, like you put a motorcycle on or whatever. Just LaserDisc.
There's at least 2,000 LaserDiscs.
stem to stern.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like anything. It's like too much is too much, because you can't watch all that. But Jesus, I can understand. I can understand why she get all excited. It probably cost her a lot of money, but so this will be fun if it's been as big as you say. Because I have a feeling nobody's clamoring to get LaserDiscs here. Most people are going to be looking for albums.
It's me and my friends were going down to I think either Virginia Beach or Richmond one
I'm gonna
time,
make a right up here.
and we passed a tour bus, and we have no idea who the band was. We just saw like all the members in the tour bus, and we just called them Ladysmith because this was the exit that we saw.
So you named them after this town?
We named them after this town.
But
because-
Ladysmith Tire and Auto's right there. Everything says Ladysmith. Ladysmith
Yeah.
McDonald's. Ladysmith Exxon.
Ladysmith
How did you
Blue
find
Car.
this place, Al?
I found it on Craigslist. They advertised.
Were you looking for records or LaserDiscs?
I was looking for LaserDisc.
Oh, my, you really...
What section were you
You're way
looking for?
freaker than I
The
am.
store for M section?
So, Al, what movie do you
SF.
want to find?
They had a copy of Mallrats, and now that it's 50% off, I might buy it.
How much was it before?
It was like $20.
Wow,
That's
so
a little
they're
too
not
much for
they're
me.
not cheap.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Up here, you want to make a right onto Center Drive.
I hope to find a couple Burt Reynolds movies.
Not this one. It's the next one.
I'm looking for Hooper, Sharky's Machine, Smokey and the Bandit. I think
Yeah,
I
this one
no,
right here.
This one.
Make a right. Yeah.
Oh man, I can feel my heart racing right now. Beating fast.
Just make a left past that Giuseppe's. It's at that
Food
Lady
truck?
Smith
Oh,
sign.
is that a pizza place?
Yeah, make a left right up here.
There it is, Fat Cat, spelled
There's
with a K. I don't see anybody here.
There's a Giuseppe.
It's open, right?
Yeah, it opens at 10.
Yeah.
I called them
Wait,
yesterday. They're definitely open.
Are you sure they're open?
Yeah.
It's a LaserDisc
Wait, I gotta
store,
get.
dude.
I know, but I want to get a.
It's a Monday morning.
I guess we're going to take a little break.
Do you want to record going in there?
No. And when we come back, we're going to kind of show off if we got anything. All right?
Awesome.
That's a break.
Let's
Over
do
and out.
this.
All right, here we go. So
All right, here we go.
That's my catchphrase. It's going to catch on at some point.
Here we go.
So
here we go.
we are backing out of Fat Cat CDs, DVDs, and LaserDisc, and we all had a lasergasm.
Well, Ralph had a laser
I had a
gas.
lasergasm. We walked away with lots of product.
Would
LaserDisc
you say
product.
we combined we all bought about 100? Or
Well, I had 32.
How many did you get,
You
Hassan?
had 37, so
Yeah.
that's 60, whatever.
69.
How many?
and how many you have?
Actually, I didn't count how many.
Oh.
I remember how much though.
Yeah, it was
It was
under
like
100. I don't think
It was
he
like
had 20,
$37. 3 of them were over $1, so I'd say
20. Anyway, Fat Cat Records in
At
what's
least
the town- what's
20.
this town
Lady
again?
Smith, Virginia.
Lady
20.
Smith, Virginia. They had a half price sale today because of the President's Day, and it was awesome.
You can find them on Facebook and on Craigslist.
how'd you find out about them again?
I searched for LaserDisc on Craigslist, and they come up when you search the
Craigslist
Washington
ads.
Washington Craigslist.
And in fact, he has a warehouse with 13,000 more LaserDiscs,
Yeah.
he said, roughly.
He said he's
And
literally
players?
coming for our money.
Yeah. We offered to help him move some of the stuff out of there, but he didn't take us up on that offer. Can't imagine why. So we nerded out in there a little bit, and what we're going to do now, other than drive home and go get something to eat, is
Or wreck the
talk
car
about
with
two
your
of our
mini donuts.
faves that we picked out. So we're going to start with, let's start with Hassan,
Okay.
and he's going to let us know a couple that he picked, and we'll talk about them a little bit.
I
A show that you
saw.
gotta show
Hang
him
on.
one.
I saw.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
The Last Boy Scout, which I thought was hilarious, having Damon
Damon
Wayans and Bruce Willis.
So you've never
And they
seen
say
that?
if you've never seen it, think it looks looks interesting.
Not only does it look interesting, it's awesome. Who directed that? Flip that thing over.
It says, who did it?
I think it was produced by the guy who produced Die Hard. What's his name? That producer. We're going Fredericksburg or Richmond?
Fredericksburg,
We're going
please.
north, right?
Yes.
No idea, dude.
Doesn't
So
say.
Pictures Production.
Anyway,
It's
so
a Tony Scott film.
Tony Scott. I knew it.
Didn't he jump off a
Did
bridge?
Die Hard?
He might have jumped. What does
my
that have
God.
to do with anything?
I don't know. Just
Anyway,
a-
that's
I'm
not- that's a
watching a
good
movie.
Random
of a
movie fact.
adventure.
It's one of Bruce Willis's better, I have to say. I think he was. I just love the way he played it in there. And Wayans, you know, he's hit or miss with movies, and I thought he did a great job.
It looks
playing
like he's a Super Bowl winning
You know,
football
he's an
star.
yeah, he's not Super Bowl. You can't
Well, he
say
has a
Super Bowl.
ring. He looks like
Right,
a Super
but it's
Bowl
not
ring.
the NFL. It's some weird fakata football league because they couldn't use NFL teams. I think
That's hilarious.
They were the Stallions or something because one of the mascot rode a horse. I think they were something
Wait,
Stallions.
The
Dallas or
one
Houston
scene
Stallions.
I remember from that film is
Wow.
in the very beginning when the guy pulls out the pistol, like the running back.
And they shoot somebody.
Yeah, he starts shooting players
Right,
on the field.
Yeah, he's running down the field and he starts
Yeah.
shooting people.
Oh
Bruce
my
Willis
God.
plays a detective whose wife is banging another detective.
Of
and
course.
he ends up in a
He can tell by his
conspiracy
receiving
thing. It's
arm.
all about gambling, and of course Bruce Willis saves the day, and him and Damon. It's a buddy cop.
Yeah,
It's
I love buddy
Lethal
cops.
Weapon. Yeah, so I think you
Lethal
like it.
Weapon
It's called The
with
Last
fresh
Boy Scout.
face.
What was
Nice.
your second favorite?
And
here we
of
go.
course, Rumble in the Bronx, my favorite Jackie Chan film. When
Nice.
it's like his first time in New York, visiting his cousin, and gets in all kinds of crazy Jackie Chan shenanigans that I love.
What'd you like about his the shirt he was wearing or something? You said
It's just
something about-
okay. Honestly, the cut-off sleeve and jeans combo
Are those mom
has been
jeans?
known. I think so. I'm pretty sure they are. It's like the sporty wear of the acid wash jeans mixed with the black cut-off sleeves. It's like a very very kung fu movie kind of look. Actually, I think it's weird because I think part of it kind of looks like a leotard. Like he's wearing like a leotard,
yeah.
and then he has the jeans over
Now,
the
what's he
leotard.
playing in this movie? Does he come from? Does he come to
remember,
New York
honestly.
and he's a fish out of water? What's the point of the movie?
I can't remember.
Really?
I
But
think-
it's your
yeah.
favorite movie?
Yeah, dude. All I did was grow up
But you don't
watching
remember
this.
the plot.
All that mattered to me was the action of it. You know.
Okay, tell me
It was
something.
he was visiting.
Okay,
He
now
was
break it
looking for. He moved to New York. He's helping his cousin with his store, or he's working in his cousin's store, or something. And this gang attacks the store, and he has to save.
So he's saving
save
the neighborhood,
store.
basically.
Yeah, he's saving the neighborhood. He's getting the girl who's, I think, is related to the cousin somehow.
Really?
He's
So
a
this really
babysitting.
movie's etched in your brain, huh?
Yeah,
Really?
dude, this is the
Look what's on the
Jack Chan
cover.
film. The Bronx.
Twin Towers.
Oh, yeah.
That's an early. What year was that made? Can you
Which
tell
one's
us that?
that?
Flip it over. Jackie Chan. Rumble in the Bronx.
1996.
1996.
Yeah.
22 years ago.
Wow. Check that out. So that's Hassan. We got him hooked on LaserDiscs now. Whoops.
Stay in your lane, Ralph.
Maybe I should perhaps stay in my lane. I'm not even reading or anything. All right, Al. You got a couple you want to
Al's
show?
up. Sure, let's do this.
Al won the, we're not going to say how much, but Al did top everybody price-wise. Wasn't that much.
And
Pretty good.
quantity-wise.
And quantity, that's right.
I went for the quality.
He went for the quality, not the volume.
Yes.
You
First,
ended up with the volume, though.
Yeah, you're right.
yeah. First up is The Thing by
Of course.
directed by John Carpenter. This came out in
1982.
82.
Hassan has not seen that movie.
Excellent
Yeah, I
film.
haven't. How'd you
Quite
know?
possibly the
I could have
best,
seen it.
one of the best horror films ever made.
Wow.
Could be. It's up there.
And it
is
definitely
it a horror
has.
film or is it a?
I would say
is
it's
it a horror?
it's
Yeah, I guess
it's
it
a
is because
horror
it was-
sci-fi film.
Yeah.
That's very psychological.
See, that's what for me, yeah, I guess it is. I can't call it a straight sci-fi or a straight horror.
Yeah.
So it's a sci-fi horror.
Yeah.
It's horror.
And it has by far probably the
It's
best
just a
creature
horror.
effects in any film.
And done
Ever.
in 1980, probably before 1982, because it came out in 82. Yeah, and they're practical effects. There's no
Yeah.
CGI in this movie.
Yeah. There
Well,
are
they
some
didn't-
matte paintings,
But that's not CGI. Yeah.
which it does stick out in one scene, but other than that, the creature effects are just, and the sound, it's just fantastic.
Yeah, it's all around one of the best. And they tried to, in the sequel in 2011,
I didn't even bother watching that.
Really?
Yeah.
They tried to capture, they captured the look, but again, they were using CGI for the effects, and it pales in comparison to what's going on.
We
in
know.
this movie.
I think that was
And
a.
Hassan, you need to see this.
I know.
I think that was a forced studio decision because I think they tried to do practical, and there are some clips on YouTube that you can watch of
Really?
some practical stuff, but I think they just, the studio.
Yeah, and
They
it's
don't
funny
care.
because you haven't seen it. It's actually a prequel. It's a sequel, but it's a prequel because it takes place. It's what happens before the dog is running in the start of this movie.
Okay.
What happens over in that
Oh.
Swedish camp?
Is that the end of the movie? As the dog starts running?
Yes.
Okay.
But and you see some of the things that are icons in this movie.
Yeah.
Axes in the wall. There's things that you would recognize if you saw this
Okay.
movie. So for that reason, it's sort of interesting to watch that other movie. It's certainly not the impact that this one has. It just can't.
Yeah.
And some of the way, they change some of how they figure out who's who compared to what's going on in this one. So it's a little different, but still.
This has Kurt Russell, who's also in Escape from New York and Escape from L.A. Has Keith David, who's in They Live. So it's a great
a
film.
lot of actors you would recognize but not quite know the name,
Yeah.
except for Wilford Brimley.
Yeah, Wilford Brimley,
He's
the
in there.
Quaker Oats
Don't you have
diabetes
his
guy.
autograph or something?
I do.
From
I
a
went to,
convention you went to with the thing.
I went to Monster Mania last year and got his autograph. I got, who did I get? I got Windows. I think that was the guy who was in The Warriors, maybe?
Yes, he's the guy that gets thrown
Yeah.
onto the subway,
Yeah.
onto the
And
track. He was also in Justice for All. Did you ever see that with Al Pacino?
I had the DVD of that, but I never watched
He plays
it.
the guy who
More
Al Pacino.
Pacino films.
You know it?
No, but
And
I should have
Justice
gotten
for All
more
is-
while we were over there.
Well, I didn't see many actually. You
Yeah.
didn't, there weren't many.
Yeah.
Carlito's Way was there.
Oh,
I didn't see.
never
I
saw
didn't
that.
see. Well, and I got Donnie Brasco.
Yeah, great movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Never seen that either.
Johnny Depp was good in that one too. But that's not two of my favorites yet.
The other thing I want to point out about this film is the dog is amazing. Like, he's the most
actor.
well-trained
Right.
acting dog I've ever
He did a
seen
great
in a
job.
movie.
Yeah.
There's this one
When
scene.
he's playing,
Yeah.
you're not sure if he is the monster.
Yeah.
Or the creature. And yeah, the way so tell us what the scene you're talking about.
It's just the way. There's a scene where he's creeping down the hallway and he goes into the one guy's room.
Yeah, you're right. He sneaks in with
Yeah,
the shadow
and he just like walks slowly and pauses, and it's just amazing.
Yeah,
that-
you're wondering what they're doing off camera
Yeah.
to make him do that, which is always interesting.
But I talked to the guys at the Monster Mania, and they said that him and his owner had like the strongest bond, and he was just an amazing dog. So
Yeah, it's just all around. It's just a crazy. There is a little, the matte painting. It's not CGI, but when they show the
spaceship,
spaceship stuff like that, but all the creature stuff was all practical.
Yeah.
And just amazing. And they used. I just love that the scene where the doctor puts his hands.
Oh, yeah, right.
You know how they fake that whole thing? So the hands clamp and he loses his arms. Right?
Yeah.
They hired a little guy, a little person, an amputee.
Oh, really?
So when they come back and you see his arms
Yeah.
get chopped off, it's the amputee with a mask to look
Oh,
like the actor's
interesting.
face. Yeah, so it's all kinds of cool stuff. So you're gonna have to watch that one to get a good.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your second one?
My second one is a Japanese edition of Dune,
Woo!
directed by David Lynch, starring Kyle
MacLachlan?
MacLachlan?
McLaughlin or McLaughlin?
We'll go with MacLachlan.
Well, what's it say on the back of the thing?
I don't know. It's in Japanese.
Oh. So is this with American English subtitles? Or?
No, this would be with Japanese subtitles burned in, because
I have a
can't.
Pulp Fiction version of that,
Yeah.
and you can see every time they drop the F word, you figure out how they spell that in Japanese. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this,
So did you haven't seen that movie though? You said.
I've seen parts of it. I've read the book. I know it doesn't follow the book that closely because it's David Lynch, and I'm sure he did his own thing. So I'm going to give it a watch. It does also have Sting in it.
Yes, Sting is in Dune.
Yes.
Again, a lot of actors who, if you see them, you'd recognize them, but maybe you just don't know their names. That movie was huge. I mean, production-wise, it was
Yeah.
huge. And there's a whole nother Dune that was supposed to be produced.
Jodorowsky,
Right.
who did The Holy Mountain.
Right.
There's a whole documentary about that.
The documentary is very interesting about the take he was going to go. David Lynch went, in a direction that he took.
Yeah.
But Kyle MacLachlan was in Twin Peaks, so it's a lot of people. I don't know if
Blue Velvet.
I don't know. Is this before or after all that? I don't know the timelines. I imagine it's after
1990, it's after.
I imagine it's after Blue Velvet.
Yeah,
Is
after
that
Blue
Kyle
Velvet,
MacLachlan?
maybe slightly before Twin Peaks.
You gotta see how much that is online, dude.
Hey, speaking of Kyle MacLachlan and creature effects, have you guys ever seen The Hidden?
No.
It's the same idea as The Thing, but someone down on Earth, on Earth, but in a city.
Okay.
Where this
like
creature
hidden?
goes from person to person, and Kyle MacLachlan actually plays somebody who's hunting this creature.
Huh.
And it's very fascinating. I also read a little something about, on that hidden LaserDisc, actually, there's a director's track.
Yeah.
And the director was talking about what makes a movie star a movie star. Why is it that some people, when they're up there, and he says Kyle MacLachlan is one of those guys that if you look at him in person, he looks like an average guy. He said the minute you put a camera on that guy, there's something about his facial features that give him that
It's
movie
just
star
maybe it's
presence.
just like the right proportion.
Whatever it is, movie screen to face, he said Kyle MacLachlan's one of those guys that has that. You can't explain it because you see him in person, puts him on the movie screen, he's a friggin' movie star.
Wow.
He had the best scene in Showgirls in the hot tub. Because you've seen Showgirls.
That's Kyle MacLachlan?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know him.
Yeah, you should get
Stay in your
Not,
lane,
not
Ralph.
from that
Huh?
scene. Not
Stay in
from,
your
No,
lane,
in my lane.
not from that scene or anything. It's just,
We're behind an Airstream, which Jen and I are going to get and travel. We're
Nice.
We're going to walk the earth.
That's-
Really?
So you haven't seen Dune, so you're going to have to give us a report after you see Dune.
Yeah.
There's some weird stuff in that from what I've watched bits and pieces, but couldn't sit through the whole thing.
Does he ride the sandworms in this?
There are sandworms
Yeah.
in this, yes.
I think
Saltworms. I think they're salt.
I think Beetlejuice kind of ripped that off.
Was that the Beetlejuice was sandworms?
what about
Yeah.
Tremors?
Dune was saltworms. Tremors is great.
Yeah.
Those are, what do they call those things in Tremors?
I forget.
Graboids. Graboids, yeah.
I've only seen the first one. I know there are like
First one's
six
the
of them.
best one. Yeah.
Call it
All right.
Sand
Mine
Jaws.
too. Now, tough decisions, but let's put up the Falcon and the Snowman will be the first one.
All right, here it comes.
Boom!
Voila.
Falcon and the Snowman. Starring Sean Penn and Timothy Hutton, who both starred in the movie Taps. Do you ever see Taps?
No.
Together? And Tom Cruise. It's an early Tom Cruise film where they play in a military base. But anyway, this one is a spy thriller. And it's actually, according to the person who owns Fat Cats, based on a book. And he said this movie follows the book pretty well.
Wow.
Anyway, they play altar boy friends. They've known each other forever. They grow up. Sean Penn is a drug dealer.
And he has a cheesy mustache.
Cheesy
He goes from
mustache.
altar,
and a really,
altar boy to drug dealer?
And a shocker,
That's not that
right?
far of a jump.
And he's got a cheesy mustache and a squeaky voice. Timothy Hutton's father's in the FBI. So Timothy Hutton, and the reason it's Falcon and the Snowman is Timothy Hutton has a falcon, a pet falcon that he's part of the way he trains him and all this. But anyway, Timothy Hutton ends up working for the government. His father gets him a job at NSA or something, and he ends up working at this place where, they have secrets. Yeah. And Sean Penn and him, Timothy Hutton basically is getting angry about the way the U.S. government is lying. So he decides with Sean Penn, he sends Sean Penn over to the Russian embassy in Mexico, and they start selling secrets back and forth to the Russians. And it's all about how the unhinged friend Sean Penn gets Timothy Hutton involved. Timothy Hutton's an idealistic kind of guy, but he is. He's a traitor. But it's a kind of an interesting look at their relationship and how it affected the spy thing that they were doing and how it affected Timothy Hutton's relationship with his FBI father, and it's just fascinating. And Sean Penn's relationship with his family being a drug dealer and all that. It's a very kind of slow-moving spy thriller, which is it's not even a thriller. It's drama. It's
I'm really interested in seeing this actually.
Well, maybe you can borrow it, but
is it like The Departed?
No, it's
it sounds like similar.
Well, but this isn't a crime story. It's a crime. Obviously they're committing a crime, but it's Sean Penn's unhinged, so it's how he's dealing with, because he wants to make money selling the secrets, and he just goes over the top, and he's wide open about what he's doing, and it just gets Timothy Hutton all in a lot of trouble with his relationships, both his girlfriend and his family, and including his falcon. It's a fascinating movie. Anyway,
this was put out by Orion Films, which put out a ton of great 80s films.
Really, but they're not around anymore.
Unfortunately.
They were from what I understand, a creative studio. And, they just couldn't keep making money, and there you go, they don't exist anymore.
And the quote on the back of this is, Sean Penn and Timothy Hutton are inspired. This is a great film, Roger and Ebert at the movies.
That's our
Cisco and Ebert,
reviewer, and he's our what do we call it? He's our sponsored reviewer, Roger Ebert.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's good because you kind of get the feeling that these two guys in real life have a relationship, Sean Penn and Timothy Hutton. Obviously, they were in Taps together right before this. It's just well done, and just a good movie. So I was glad I found that one. And my second pick.
All right, hang on.
Is one of my favorites. An early Gene Wilder, Richard Pryor collaboration called Silver Streak. And it's really what established. Wilder and Richard Pryor went on to do many of these kind of buddy things. I don't know if you remember Silver Streak. There was
Hear No Evil, See No Evil.
Hear No Evil, See No Evil. The other one, which I love, is the one where they're in prison and they become Gene Wilder becomes a rodeo star. I can't remember what's the name of that. Stir Crazy.
Okay, yeah.
Great movie. But this is, I think, the one that started. Although, back up a step. Blazing Saddles.
I just got Blazing Saddles.
Okay, Blazing Saddles was written by Mel Brooks and Richard Pryor.
Okay.
Richard Pryor was supposed to play the Cleavon Little, the sheriff, in Blazing Saddles, but for insurance purposes, or he was drug addicted, they just couldn't justify getting him on the set, which is why Cleavon Little came on board. Gene Wilder was not even supposed to be in the movie, but the guy they hired to play the gunslinger that Gene Wilder played was too drunk. He had the DTs. He couldn't remember lines. So Mel Brooks calls up Gene Wilder on a Friday and says, "We need you down here in the set. Would you mind playing this part?" On Monday, he is down doing the part, and it's one of his classics. Okay. So anyway, there's a relationship there that started early between Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor. This is kind of a buddy version. They're in a movie together, and they play a couple of bumbling guys. I don't know if you've ever seen the famous bathroom scene that they do, where they put Gene Wilder in blackface, and he's got to pretend to be a black guy, and Richard Pryor's teaching him how to be a black guy.
Oh my god.
Okay, I mean, nowadays you'd look at that and go, okay, that's a little bit, but back in the, what year was that made? Look on the back, does it tell you? 1970 what?
Hang on. Copyright is packaging copyright is 83.
So maybe it's a early
83?
80s. Okay, maybe early 80s. So it's an early collaboration with these two, and it's pretty funny. And Jill Clayburgh, I think, plays the kind of Gene Wilder's love
I'm sorry,
interest.
this is from 1976.
There you go, 1976. It's just a funny comedy. They end up in some crazy caper on a train, which is what Silver Streak stands for, and it ends with a famous special effect where they crash a subway into, I think, Grand Central Station.
Yeah, there's
in
a
New York City.
thumbnail on here of that.
Yeah. So it's just a very, very funny movie, and I haven't seen that on LaserDisc before, so I'm kind of.
And Blazing Saddles is what started off the relationship.
Well,
together?
I don't know what exactly if Gene Wilder knew Richard Pryor before, but I'm sure he did because they're all writers.
Yeah.
But it's just an interesting coincidence that they end up in a movie together, and they did a ton of these. And they See No Evil, Hear No Evil, I think you guys mentioned. They kind of, like everything, they wane a little bit. But this one and Stir Crazy, I think, are two of the best collaborations that they did. This one's very funny. And in 1976, so I would have been either a junior in high school or a sophomore in high school. So that's when I saw that. It's quite funny. So that was those were our LaserDisc favorites. Believe me, we could show a whole bunch more, but
We could.
I mean, if you want to, I can't because I'm driving. If you want to pick one out of your box and talk about it, we're getting a little traffic. We don't have to do this. We can stop. What do you think? Do you have one more you want to show?
Let's see. Let me reach around here. Let's see what I
There's a
pull
steak
out.
and
Did you just say
coming
reach
up.
around?
Maybe.
Please don't.
There's a Steak and Shake coming up.
Oh
I
God,
thought
no
we were gonna eat
thanks.
at Chevy's or whatever you said. Chewy's or whatever.
Chewies.
Yeah, I was.
Okay, here's a dollar.
There, you know?
Here's
Oh,
a dollar.
$1.
Oh, Time Cop.
Oh my God, a classic.
Time Cop
Classic
with
JCVD. Jean-Claude Van Damme.
That's
you know
right.
what? I was actually looking for Bloodsport.
That's real early,
Bloodsport.
huh?
That's a good one.
This is sort of later in his career.
Yeah, this is like 90s, right?
Yeah,
It's
I
like
think
93.
maybe. Some of that takes place in Washington D.C.
Oh, 1995.
Yeah. Tell us about it. Give us a little synopsis.
Oh hell, I don't remember
want
that
me to
much.
tell you?
I could read the back, but
No, I'll tell you. I
Okay.
can
No,
tell
read
you.
the
So,
back.
okay, read the back.
You
No,
tell
go
me.
ahead, Ralph.
Jean-Claude Van
No,
Damme plays a Washington D.C. what they call time cops, and they figured out somebody has invented a way to time travel, and go back in time, or back and forward in time, to. The reason they hire these time cops is people are using this technology to go back like before the Great Depression and short a bunch of stocks, so they make a bunch of money in the present. So these time cops have to go back and grab these people, and it's punishable by death if you do anything to stage. So there are scenes where people are back in the American Civil War, and you see a platoon of people, and they're carrying gold bullion. So these guys come from the future, steal the gold bullion, go in the present, and they're making tons of money. So they have this time cop group that goes back to get these guys. So Jean-Claude Van Damme is one of those. In the movie, his wife ends up getting because they're on to Jean-Claude's group, they start killing off these guys, and they go, and of course he beats the shit out of a guy, but they end up, I think, killing his wife. So
then
now
he
he has
goes
to
back
go,
in time
so
to spend
now he
more
goes
time
back
with
in
her.
time. He's coming back and forth, and so he comes back in time, and he's there with himself, like he's watching him, court his wife to be, and it's this whole thing about him going back and changing time, and
Aww.
it's a B movie, but it's not badly done.
Yeah.
And again, a lot of actors who you would look at and go, hey, that's the guy that was in, he's D-Day from Animal House. He's this person from whatever. You don't know their name, but they're in this movie. And the effects are kind of cheesy.
Yeah.
Who directed this one?
Direct.
Peter Hyams? No, he did Sudden Death.
There were
great-
no credits on this, believe it or
Really?
not.
No director's
Oh wait,
credits?
here we go. Directed by.
Never mind. We'll have to cut this out.
Screw you guys.
Doesn't tell you?
Directed by Peter Hyams.
Yeah. So
Oh.
he did this, and he did the great hockey movie, which I forgot to mention on our Slapshot podcast, Sudden Death, another JCVD classic.
So he's
Wait,
rocking.
what? John Claude was playing in a hockey
No,
movie?
he was playing a security guard.
Yeah.
It's like a Die Hard in a hockey
It's
rink.
shot in
It's
Pittsburgh.
But
At
he
the
ends up
Civic
playing
Arena.
goal. He does end up in the goal, saving a couple of shots.
Jesus.
And he does one of his famous splits in his time.
Yeah. They got the thumbnail on the back.
Yeah.
He's also
Can
rocking
you
a
show
full
that?
mullet
show
as
show
well.
the thumbnail. Lean in a little bit. Yeah, where is it? Oh, there it is, right there.
Is he
Yeah.
naked?
No, he's got shorts
yeah.
on, tighties.
But he's rocking the full mullet.
Yeah, he's
'cause
got a mullet.
in 90s style.
Yeah.
He's got the Billy Ray Cyrus look.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So that's a good one. That was $1.
That's good, yeah, $1. Well, marked down from $2. That was a 50% discount. Reach back into Hassan's box and just pull one more out.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'll reach
pull
in
the-
Hassan's box.
Pull the front one out.
Pull the front one out.
I don't know if I
Just
can
pull
reach
one
that
out
far.
and be a
Just
mystery.
pull one out. Yeah, just pull
We'll do
one
the same.
out.
We'll do one more for him and one more for mine.
I like the
Oh, wait.
randomness.
I think that's mine. Hang on.
Uh-oh. You gotta reach in
Wait, what
Hassan's
is it?
box.
Wait, wait. What
If
is
you pull
it?
it, you gotta talk about it.
Hang on.
Because it might be mine.
It's not.
Okay.
I feel like I'm going to get decapitated in a car wreck right now.
Well, don't worry, I'm driving. What could go wrong? I'm under 60 miles an hour. This is ridiculous. Virginia, 95 in Virginia.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, Alice, what do you got?
Here's one. Here's Ralph's.
Oh,
Let's talk about Black Rain with
Black-
Michael Douglas.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
another famous Michael Douglas movie. Talk about a mullet. I think he's got a beautiful mullet in this one too, if I remember.
Oh yeah,
correctly.
it's very wavy and
Yeah, well,
kind
he's
of
got
curly.
what he's got is he's got the slick back like he did in Die Hard, but he's got the mullet.
Die Hard? You mean
I'm sorry,
Wall Street?
Wall Street. So he plays a detective in New York City, I think.
Oh, this is a Ridley Scott film.
Yeah,
I
it's a
didn't know.
Ridley Scott film. Andy Garcia and him play partners. And there's the crime syndicate from Japan pulls something off in New York. I think it's
The
New York
Yakuza?
City. Yeah, the Yakuza clan.
Yeah.
And they have to go to Japan and go. They're actually bringing the guy back to Japan, extraditing him to Japan so he can be punished in Japan. And of course, somebody comes on the plane when they get to Japan, and the guy escapes. And now Michael Douglas and Andy Garcia have to deal with the Japanese culture, police officers, and the American gung-ho, I'm a magnum, I can do whatever I want, I'm a cowboy. And it's how Michael Douglas adapts to their culture, and they adapt to Michael Douglas's culture. Now, the whole point with Ridley Scott is its atmosphere.
Yeah.
So this came out after Blade Runner, obviously. But it's a very thickly atmospheric movie, with the Japan culture. He really got into the whole, with neon lights. He goes,
Well, I feel like that might be a holdover from Blade Runner because there's a lot of that in Blade Runner.
If you look at this
Yeah.
the way he shot Japan at night, you would see why. I mean, Blade Runner looks like that. It looks
Yeah.
like Blade Runner looks like present Japan. The crowded part of Japan where they have all the neon lights and
Yeah.
everybody's walking around and all the markets.
Yeah, I knew I should have gotten it.
And it's an early Andy Garcia movie, and he's fantastic. There's also a famous Japanese actor who plays the police officer they get teamed with to help solve the crime. And of course, it ends with Michael Douglas saving the day. And
Yeah.
doing,
Is it Ken Takakura?
okay,
I think that's it.
sure.
And this is also
Wait, you
scored.
don't know?
I don't know.
You know
This-
Michael Douglas, but
I
you
do
don't know
Michael
Ken
Douglas.
Takakura.
I do not know who you just said.
This is also a Hans Zimmer film.
Oh.
Yeah, he's got a lot of them.
I wonder if.
It's very, very atmospheric. I don't even think it did that well.
Do you think this is when Hans Zimmer was actually writing the music and not using other people to write the music?
You would know better than I. Is that something you want to talk about?
No.
Is there something you want to get off your chest
Yeah,
now?
you seem upset about that. And Kay Capshaw, Steven Spielberg's present wife, she plays a American woman who runs a nightclub, one of the only blondes in the whole, Japanese area. And Michael Douglas is doing his Michael Douglas thing, the kind of renegade. He's actually accused of some bribery or something, so he's got that hanging over his head, and he has to prove himself to the Japanese guy. Andy Garcia plays this, very optimistic, very by the book cop, but he's the happy of the two guys. So they go to a karaoke bar, and Andy Garcia's up there doing a whole song, and It's a Ridley Scott, the director of The Counselor.
Yeah, I don't even
I
understand that at
so
all.
you're gonna love or hate this movie because it's Black Rain, Ridley Scott.
I would probably like this movie, but I cannot like The Counselor.
I know.
Sorry.
Well,
Interesting.
Is there a female character that has sex with a car in this film?
There is not.
Okay, then I'll probably like it.
So that's what it is.
Is that what happens in The Counselor?
Yeah. Cameron Diaz has sex with a Lamborghini.
Oh, I know that scene.
And it goes as bad as you.
I didn't know that was from The Counselor.
Yeah, but what's great about that scene, and this is why I don't understand. I guess I'm too simple. Everybody hates this movie, The Counselor. We're going to talk about this again. So they do that scene, and the scene it goes the way you would think it goes, right? The best part of that is the way Javier Bardem is talking about that scene because
how he recounts it.
Yeah, and the way he recounts it is he's as mortified as you are watching it. He's explaining why it was disgusting and how it affected him now looking at her ever again, just because of the way he describes it happening. So I think people hated that movie because it just was pretentious. And,
the dialogue is extremely pretentious.
And it stars Javier Bardem, and it stars what's his name, Michael Fassbender.
Yeah.
Characters aren't there's no redeeming characters really in the whole movie. There really aren't. They're all well, there's one redeeming character, and that's Michael Fassbender's fiancée, played by Penelope Cruz. So she's the one redeeming character.
Penelope Cruz and Cameron Diaz in a movie together.
What's that?
Penelope Cruz and Cameron Diaz.
Yeah. And
they did other movies together, didn't they?
They have? I have no idea. Maybe.
Oh, they weren't in the same scenes, but they were in Vanilla Sky, yeah.
Yeah.
I like Vanilla Sky. That's another good movie.
But I don't think their characters ever met.
But Black Rain is I think it's a little over the top, obviously, like Ridley Scott. But atmospherically, it's well done. It's a good looking film. And again, you like Andy Garcia. You really like. You end up liking Michael Douglas. He plays a renegade. He plays a renegade, right? Yeah. Drives a motorcycle. He's speeding, and it's a typical.
Yeah, I hate motorcyclists and their speeding.
According to the Today Show's resident film critic Gene Shalit, Michael Douglas again delivers a standout performance.
Michael Douglas had a run. Let me tell you something. Okay, you guys probably don't remember the Michael Douglas run.
Yeah,
I vaguely remember.
Okay. It started for me with The Streets of San Francisco, which was a TV cop show he did with Carl Malden. And he was great. He produced, you know this because you gave me the LaserDisc, he produced One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Michael Douglas did?
Company, yes.
Wow.
So he won an Oscar for that, for producing that movie, because I think it won Best Picture.
Mm-hmm.
Then he does, he did all those classic Fatal Attraction, Wall Street, come on, Wall Street. You can't. He was great in that. Romancing the Stone with Kathleen Turner. He had a run that he was just banging. Everything he did, Basic Instinct. He started playing archetypal characters, right? He started playing these characters that are Basic Instinct. It's what's her name? Sharon Stone. That whole scene with the legs opening up and how she overpowers him. Fatal Attraction. It's
Glenn
Close. The editor showed her that scene, and she was like, "Oh, you gotta take that out."
You should see that scene on LaserDisc.
No, that's gotta be
Why? Because you can pause it.
You should see that on LaserDisc. It's awesome. I did see Basic Instinct here. They had it, but
right on the microphone.
But it wasn't.
I'm sorry. Did you hear that?
Yes.
I think we might have. Look at this. What is this traffic for?
This is 95 traffic.
Is this President's Day traffic?
This is just Monday traffic.
It's unbelievable.
And this is regular during the day traffic.
It's unbelievable. Look at that.
It's lunchtime traffic.
We're looking at
everybody's going on
3 lanes of heavy traffic. Okay, Al, pull one more out for you.
For you or for Hassan?
For me.
For you. No.
I'm pulling up for Hassan.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Please, Chris, if you will.
Drum roll, please. Is it one of the Playboy ones? Oh, wait, they didn't have any ones.
No, I think it's a Ron Jeremy film.
Come on, I can't hold this drum roll very long.
All right.
At least hold the steering
I don't want to
wheel.
do that one.
Look, we're not moving.
All right, we'll do this one.
All right, and it is
Clerks.
Oh, nice.
I can't even talk about this. You guys need to talk about it.
Try not to suck dick on the way to the parking lot, Ralph.
Is that a reference to the movie?
Yes.
Could you show the show it? Back it up a little bit.
Clerks.
Back it up a little bit. Gotta keep it in focus.
Here, I'll hold it.
There you go. Okay, tell me about why you bought this one.
Honestly,
He doesn't know.
I don't know. It's because Kevin Smith.
You haven't seen it?
No, I've never seen it. It's
Well, I
I've seen
ruined one of the
Clerks
best
2.
lines for you.
I've seen Clerks 2, but
Oh,
I've never
this one's
seen
much
Clerks.
better.
And Clerks is supposed to be like one of those like classics, amazing.
Yeah, it's a classic 1994 film, indie film, that Kevin Smith paid with credit cards to make it.
This is the one that put him on the map, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he went to, maybe he went to
And he worked
Sundance with
Harvey
us.
Weinstein.
Oh,
on
yeah.
this one?
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
He was on Miramax. This was a Miramax film.
Yeah, it's early. It's early. I mean,
94 or something like that.
yeah. So, but this made Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
That's
But,
why you bought it.
Yeah. No, I was just like interested in it.
Did you like the cover? I mean, what? Oh, but you had Clerks. You've seen Clerks.
Yeah, I
too.
mean, I've seen
Oh.
Clerks 2,
It's funny, I've never
and
seen
I've
this. I've
seen
never
Jay
seen
and
it.
Silent Bob Strike Back.
That's a good one.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
I like that one.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I'm so mad.
Yeah.
But I figured, see what started it all. And what better way to see it than on LaserDisc, right?
That you might as well. if you wanna
Yeah,
watch it.
exactly.
We're all about LaserDisc today.
Yeah.
I guess I could say a little bit about this.
Good,
yeah,
please do if you
shoot.
know anything about it.
So it's, it takes place in a convenience mart and a video store in New Jersey. I would say it's pretty, the shots and stuff aren't that great. They're mostly static shots, and the movie's about the dialogue and the writing, really.
That's what I'm expecting.
So there's some really famous conversations about, like, Star Wars and the contractors who work on the Death Star and why, what happened to them and why did they deserve to die, that kind of thing.
Really, I've never seen this movie.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
And I think that's like a lot. There have been like a lot of jokes that like reference that conversation
Yeah.
because like it's like the stem of a lot of those.
Well, this movie, I think, turned a lot of people into really wanting to do movies too, because they
Yeah.
realized this kid, like you said, put it on his credit card. I mean, he's a hardworking guy. There's no question
Yeah.
about it. But he was able to finance this with his credit cards.
Well, this says the budget was $27,000.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. How many credit cards do you think he had to take out for that?
And
few.
did he? It's all written by him.
Yeah, I believe so.
And is Jason Mewes in this one? His
He is.
buddy.
Jay,
Oh, he is?
Jay and Silent Bob are in this.
Yeah.
They're not like,
He's not on the cover.
I know. They're
Did you ever
not
see Mac and Mindy make a porno?
Zach
Zack
and
and
Miri.
Mindy.
Zach
Zack
and
and
Miri.
Miri,
You know what
yeah.
I say? Mac and Mindy. Mindy and Mac. Did you ever see that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's so
Kevin Smith,
funny.
right? Did he direct that?
Yeah, he did.
Really?
That was funny.
Yeah, that was so funny.
Yeah.
That was shot in Pittsburgh as well.
It was?
Jason Long in that movie kills me.
Jason who?
Justin Long.
Justin Long, sorry.
What's he playing though?
He plays.
Is he one of the crew?
He's
or is
in the. He's in. He comes back for the reunion.
Oh, he's
and he's
the
like
actor.
dating
He's the
one
actor.
of the friends.
Is he
one
the
of
actor?
Friends. No.
No, he doesn't play the actor.
He doesn't play an actor. He's just like one of the gay friends.
The blonde lady,
That's,
what's her
like,
name that
overly
stars
gay.
in that? I'm so in love with her.
Elizabeth
Oh,
Banks.
Elizabeth
Yeah.
Banks.
Yeah.
You ever see Slither that she's in? Slither?
I've seen it, yeah.
Have you
That's
ever
good.
seen the Hunger Games?
Yeah.
She's in it.
Why? Why would you watch that? I mean, I've seen it once
Yeah.
because my daughter, my 11-year-old, wanted to go see that.
Oh, you're so high and mighty because you got a daughter
No, it
now.
has nothing to do with the daughter. It has to be forcing me to see that movie. I also saw Justin Bieber's movie.
Oh my
What
god.
Yeah, movie?
The documentary. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you seen the
He's
movie?
a hardworking guy.
Have you seen that movie Pop Star?
I have not.
It's like an
I know
Andy
it.
Samberg
Yeah.
one.
Is it good?
I heard it was pretty good, but little unknown fact, I'm in that movie.
You're in Popstar?
I'm in Pop Star
as
with
what?
Andy Samberg. I was in LA and I was an extra during one of the concert scenes.
Nice.
Can you spot you?
Yeah,
Spot
you,
you
yeah,
can?
yeah. My friend
This-
saw it.
this
and
shit
she
needs to go
texted
on
me right
Inherent
afterwards
Source.
and was
Are you kidding me?
I found you in Pop Star. Like,
You gotta give me
Yeah.
we'll get the laser just so
Yeah,
we can
get the
slow it
time.
down and pause it. That's awesome.
Yeah, I
the
know.
Bieber wasn't bad. That's that documentary that introduced him to the world. I have to admit he's a hardworking kid, but that and Hunger Games. No, Elizabeth Banks is just fantastic. She's the one. It's the one woman who could knock on my door, and Jenna would go ahead. You're fine.
She's on the
Actually,
list.
I think Jenna would come with me. Yeah, she's on that list. But I like that movie too, and Jason Mewes was good in that as well. He's funny. That dude,
Oh yeah.
that dude kills me.
He's one of the actor, the actor.
I met him at a con one time. Got
Oh,
him.
really?
Yeah, I have the 10th anniversary edition of Clerks, and I got him to sign it.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Speaking of Kevin Smith, one more thing before we end this, because we've gone almost an hour and a half just on LaserDisc stuff. Have you seen Red State?
Yes, I have.
Kevin Smith's Red State?
I liked it up until the end.
Is that a documentary?
Which end? Which do you consider the end? No, it's a kind of a. It's a horror movie, but it's a violent.
It's a
take
cult
on cults and
right wing extreme.
Which
religion.
part of the end? I'm trying to figure out.
The No Country part where John Goodman's sitting at the desk. I hated that.
Right.
Like I wanted them, because they have that horn that plays, and you're like, oh my God, the rapture is going to happen,
Right.
and I feel like they should have stopped there.
But it was pretty funny that they said, oh, they were farmers and they all got busted for it.
Yeah.
They were growing weed and all that. But the way everybody just dies in that movie, I mean, it's insane.
Yeah.
It's
That's
just
a really
insane.
good movie.
Yeah,
People should
it's
see.
not good. I wouldn't call it a real good movie. I'd say it's an interesting film.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's digital, right? He did it digitally, and all digital, no film.
I haven't seen anything past that though, because I feel like he hit the weed train too hard.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, he.
Well, he does all his podcasts too. He does
Yeah.
a lot of review stuff, and he's got that show, Comic Book Men or something.
Yeah.
And so he's split in many different places. And I think I think maybe I'm wrong, but he got frustrated with trying to do movies. You ever hear him talk about Bruce Willis?
Oh yeah, he hates him.
Well, they had a terrible. I mean, it was terrible, that movie they did together, and Kevin Smith's coming at it like I'm a huge diehard fan, and Bruce Willis didn't give a rat's
It's
ass.
Bruce Willis collecting a paycheck. That's what he's been doing for the last.
Striking
15
distance,
years.
though. I think he earned it. Not gonna lie. And Last Boy Scout, I'm telling you, Bruce Willis brings it. And look at his hair.
Who's the
too.
Boy Scout in this?
He's the last Boy Scout.
Oh.
Because he's the cop.
There's a great scene where he goes, "You touch me again, I'm gonna kill you," and the guy touched him again. And you got to see it. It's
The
pretty
last
good.
movie that he was remotely good in was Looper. But anything like
No, what do you mean? I mean, we'll name some, and I'll tell you whether I thought they were good or not.
I don't.
See, that's the thing.
Red was good.
What?
Red.
Red?
Yeah, that
all
was
the
okay.
X.
But that had an ensemble cast. That wasn't just Bruce Willis.
He's doing Death Wish.
That's going to be garbage.
He does a couple. He's been doing a lot of straight-to-video stuff, too.
He needs to pay that
All his
spousal
alimony
support,
and, I know. It's tough. Well, anyway, that was awesome. I think we've talked enough about LaserDisc. This will be a special version of our podcast. We might even put this out early since I don't have to do much editing.
Yeah.
And it's a good Patriots Day. It's a nice way to spend Patriots Day, don't you think?
Patriots Day. Is that what we call
President's Day. Why do I keep doing that?
Because you want to celebrate Tom
in your
Brady.
lifetime? Al, who was your favorite president in your lifetime?
Dude, I don't have a lot to choose from.
Well, pick one of the four you know. Or three you know.
I would go with Obama.
Okay. Hassan?
I don't want to talk about this.
Okay. No politics?
uh,
Why does it matter?
I mean,
It's President's Day.
yeah, Obama. Obama
Okay. Is that the only one you know?
Well, no, but he did bomb the shit out of the Middle East right before he left office. It was just
Yeah.
bro.
I mean, we don't have a lot of during my lifetime we don't have a lot of Democrats to choose from. It's either him or Bill Clinton. So
I know. It's
what
been
would
tough. It's been tough. Well, mine, I have to say, it's a terrible pick. I just love Jimmy Carter. He was a terrible president, but he's a
he's a
great
good
human
man.
being. He's a great human being, and I don't think anybody can stack up to what he's done.
Yeah.
After the presidency, I
Yeah.
mean, he was a tough time back then, but terrible president, great human being. Yeah, one of a kind. All right, we end on a down note, although that was not a totally down note.
The one thing I want to know is why they made him give up his peanut farm, but we can't make Trump give up anything.
Now you really don't want to get into this, right? Because one of them, because that's one of them's break. Jimmy Carter was a peanut farmer.
Yeah.
When he became president, he had to give up his business because that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to earn any money outside of the presidency. We have a president in there now who doesn't give a crap. and he's making money hand over fist in his
I
hotels.
thought he
and
like gave his stuff to his daughter. Or something.
his son's supposed to be running it. Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
But no, that's not how it works. And I'm sorry for all you Trump supporters who are watching our show, which there are none, so I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, he's making money hand over fist. He doesn't give a shit, and he's flouting his nose at everybody, and but someone's coming to get him, and his name is Robert Mueller. So we'll see what happens.
His name is Robert Mueller.
His name is Robert Mueller. Did I say that wrong?
No,
Anyway,
it's a Fight Club reference, but okay.
it is.
Well, his name was Robert Paulson.
Oh.
When Meatloaf dies.
Yeah.
Oh, he had boobs.
Yeah, he did. Bitch Tip Bob. Yeah.
Anyway,
This is a good movie.
Another good movie. No Fight Club LaserDisc. So
No
I think
Fight
it came
Club.
out-
I wish.
I think it came out after.
I would have wished.
Laserdisc
I would have paid $150 for that if
Can
it
you
was half
imagine
off.
that guy has 13,000 LaserDiscs in a warehouse?
I want to go see his
Oy.
warehouse.
No kidding. I'd pay to do that, right?
Pay $20.
Yeah, just let me
Do we
walk
even
around.
have that many days left on Earth to watch all those laser discs?
That's not the point. I mean, I'm not going to get 13,000.
Isn't it the
of them.
point?
No, then I need a warehouse. That defeats the purpose. I already have too many to fill out. I got to move some stuff to put this stuff in that I just bought. It's terrible. It's a disease. It's a disease.
It's the American disease.
It's a disease, and LaserDisc is the cure. You know what I'm saying? You feel good holding that, don't you?
I do.
Huh?
Like
He's ready.
Tactile.
Wow.
I don't feel like
It's tactile.
I don't feel like I
gonna
like
frame
when
that?
I'm holding vinyls. I feel like I'm like faking being.
Put
a
that up in your
hipster
QC
because-
office, huh?
Yeah, man.
Frame it.
Yeah.
You need to show that off.
Yeah. Get swag. All right, that's the end of this podcast. We're sorry Sean Murphy could not join us. Sean Paul Murphy. Sean, we say hello.
He's too busy writing a new film.
I did buy him a LaserDisc. I bought him Runaway Train, one of his favorite movies. Yes, he's writing. He's in his office writing a movie. I'm writing a book or a screenplay. What's he doing?
Maybe both.
Anyway, he's the resident writer of the group.
Yeah. I'm sure he's name dropping in all his sentences.
He probably is. So anyway, that's the end of this podcast. And until next time, we'll see you again.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Over and out. See ya.